Hey everyone, it's Dr. Connie over here. Welcome to my show, Mind Your Health. We're all about getting rid of your pesky symptoms related to your gut and so that you can thrive in your lives. So, with that being said, have you ever felt the pit in your stomach where you physically feel in the deep gut a strong sensation emanating from the excitement, fear, nervousness, etc.? Like that fluttering gut feeling when you're about to go down a roller coaster ride. Or sometimes it's binge eating a decadent chocolate cake after a week of deprivationing and dieting, and where you feel that shame and guilt afterwards in the pit of your stomach. And you start to feel the negative sensations rise up so much so that you start to look for another way to distract yourself from dwelling in self-pity, that you end up choosing to drown the shame away with a whole bottle of wine. How about when you meet someone or something about them makes you feel sort of negative and somehow you don't feel quite aligned but can't put your finger on it, so you choose to dismiss it only to be backstabbed by them over something, and you tell yourself, oh, I knew it. I knew that about that person, right? Or when you have a premonition about an opportunity that feels really good and aligned for you, and you press forward and you get that job or a promotion as a result of it. We all have a sense about our world, and we choose to pick that up from our gut. And did you know that when you start to think about it, we overthink based on our conditioning, that we get in the way of ourselves to get the thing we're meant to get that is in full alignment? Because we think about, remembering what my mom said, or what our parents said, or what that preacher might have said, or that teacher might have said, to influence our decisions. And we choose not to lean into trusting our gut feeling, but we choose to weigh all the things through the filter of our memory of the past experiences. And that's why today I really want to focus on you coming back to you and leaning in to trust your gut. Because this is how we have so many gut dysfunctions that lead to so many different symptoms that you all might be struggling with. And as an autoimmune patient, it is thought that over 97% of the people living with autoimmunity has gut dysfunction. I too myself have long struggles with it even before diagnoses. And especially during my flares, and even when I'm in remission, I used to have struggles with gut. Even so today, it's never quite right, but I'm working so hard to get it just in the right place, because when your gut is off, all symptoms arise, and they're not quite disease states, but unless you get a handle on it, it will become disease. I know because it's happened to me, and I've witnessed it time and time again in my industry, as well as in the patients that I treat. We all, like I said, have a sense about our world, and we pick up our senses from our gut. Most of the time, the true instinct really does bypass our thinking, the intelligence. We still feel it in our gut, and sometimes it might not be logical, but it's usually right. And this is why the gut is considered the second brain. Okay. In the Vedas, in the yoga script or scripture, within the chakra system, the gut is within the solar plexus, which is considered the manipura, where it houses both the positive and the negative feelings. It's like the yin to the yang. The solar chakra is also the root of courage, ambition, and perseverance. It's no surprise then that when the solar plexus or the gut dysfunction is blocked, that one would suffer from low self-esteem, indecision, and struggle with anger or even control. The gut serves as the foundation for health and wellness. We know this from all the holistic, theoretical, scientific-based philosophies, both from the East as well as the West. When you do have gut dysfunction, you may struggle with feelings of low self-esteem, lack of self-trust, weakness, or weakness in will to do something, poor digestion, constant victim mentality, lack of responsibility and independence, attraction to stimulants like sugar and alcohol to really buffer the feelings of negativity, perpetual cycle of not feeling good enough. You constantly struggle with anxiety and fear, on top of all the sensational physical symptoms like bloat, fatigue, gas, and SIBO, right? Food sensitivities, just ill feeling, pain, aches and pains, PCOS even. All the other certain conditions are now rooting back to the gut, okay? To address the gut issues and symptoms then would be to first prime our mental and emotional state before working on all the doings that we tend to get obsessed with, like the diets, right? And this is why the dietary changes alone will not provide long-term results. I know this because I've proven it time and time again with myself as well as with my patients. While dietary changes can begin to alter the physiological state, the physical state of biochemistry, the behavioral changes without the mental and emotional shift cannot be long-term. You have to align both of them, the physical, mental, and emotional with the behavior. Imagine eating, for example, a diet like a diet or FODMAP diets that were commonly prescribed with dysfunctions. You struggle with the feelings that coincide with the solar plexus blockages, like we talked about, like low self-esteem, lack of confidence, inability to take responsibility, lack of focus, and self-trust. Think about from that place of being, you take on the new restricted FODMAP or elimination diet, and you're miserable in an already miserable state. How successful would you be long-term? It's just not sustainable because most of these patients struggle with orthorexia. It's like anorexic, but fear of food. We call that orthorexia. We're creating patients that are fearful of food. And I used to be of that patient. Constant, fearful, constantly self-conscious, low self-esteem. I didn't like my life. There was no joy in eating, nothing, right? That's not what we want you to have. Remember, while some changes can be anticipated from dietary changes, like every dietary interventions out there, it's never sustainable unless you change your mental and emotional states. I really want that to sit with you. By changing the way you feel, okay, or the changing the way you feel seems harder than it is for most people, simply because for one thing, it's something that is automatic and subconscious to most of us. We don't think. It's completely subconscious the way we feel because it's habitual. We're in a habit of thinking and feeling a certain way, even if it's negative, especially if it's negative. And it's usually based on past events that we've tied and brought to the present to have that same experience over and over again. That's why most people talk about it being like feeling stuck, right? Because we all hit that moment where we feel stuck. We're stuck because of our thinking and emotional environment by which we are housed in this physical body, because we're so influenced by those feelings and our mental states, right? Thinking. So unless we bring awareness to it and work on our mental and emotional state of being, there will never be long-term changes. I know this for a fact. And this is why time after time, the diet industry tells you or tries to tell you or sell you on a dogmatic diet, a pill, or some magic supplement, but try as they might and try as you will, it doesn't work long-term. In the Eastern philosophy, which is really wise, it is thought that life is a paradox of yin and yang. There is not a right or wrong, Never there is anything black and white, but we all experience and embrace the full spectrum of it, all of it, the good and the bad. Life skill is like a dance. We must dance with the celebrations as well as the obstacles to create a healthy balance and find joy in the process. Because the truth is that joy can't be experienced without the sadness. Hate can't be experienced without love. Life can't be celebrated without death. And essentially, there's no point in resisting. We're all here to fully experience all of it. And when we do, our brain and gut are aligned, and all the functions of the body systems, such as digestion, immune system, hormones, all create this miraculous harmony from within to create a much healthier environment from the inside out. And that harmonious environment, it's like all the clicks in the right place for all the puzzle pieces to finally click in place. It's not one thing or overemphasis in one pathway or another, but it's all of it together, holistic, the whole of you. And the goal is the balance. And the goal of balance is achieved when we learn to lean into the sensations of our body. That's what we teach in our new and revised signature program, Gut Health Transformation. We focus on learning to feel the sensations and make sense of what they mean in our body so that you can learn to listen and really feel so that you can provide your body with what it is telling you it needs rather than looking for other people to tell you what it needs. So next time you find yourself in a state of negativity, anxiety, low self-esteem, and in quick reaction to something that's going to sort of blow up in our faces or in your face, I want you to sit and breathe instead. Pause and take deep breaths. So let's demonstrate here. Close your eyes, relax your face, relax your shoulders, and take a deep breath in for 5 breaths. And hold at the top of the breath for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And slowly exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And hold at the bottom for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And again, 1. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and hold at the top of the inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold at the bottom for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold at the top for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold at the bottom for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold. And I want you to learn to repeat this cycle 10 times. Especially when you get revved up, you know that moment you have, moment of weakness where you're going to grab for something and binge eat something, or drink that alcohol, or talk negatively, or react to something. Just pause and choose to focus inward. And this 10 cycle breath, I promise you, will change your state of being before reacting to something. Because learning to slow down and be present is just that. Focusing into how you are in the moment, choosing to feel the feels that your body is sending you for guidance, because that's the ultimate wisdom. We cannot find that magic anywhere else outside of us. It's only within you, because you are miraculous. And we need to learn to choose to lean into that wisdom from within, that gut feeling, that pit in the stomach, and learn to sit with it in silence, with the ultimate goal of creating balance in the body. And to me, that's the alkaline. That's why I call it the methodology that I teach in the program, the alkaline method. So when you sit like that and you alkalize yourself in this way, find balance, you have a whole different perspective. There's no more reaction. There's only proactiveness within, with intention, and always keeping the focus on your own healing and learning to dance and not take yourself so seriously. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe. And sometimes, rather than making a problem out of nothing, sometimes it's sitting with it and taking a pause creates a perceptual shift for us to create our own solutions, and learning that we always have answers within us and we can manage our lives better. And this shifts the cycle of the constant sympathetic response, the toxic response in our body, creating that stress to cause that dysfunction and solar plexus blockages, into more positive healing, rest and digest, sympathetic or parasympathetic response, where we can cultivate more calm and positivity, knowing, of course, that there's always the two sides of the same coin. We always experience both sides and smile through it all. And again, if you have somebody who can really benefit from this message of practical knowledge, common sense, and sprinkled with some scientific evidence, this is the place to be. And it's all about applying our knowledge every single day, making that super easy so that you can really change your behavior in that instant more proactively, so that you can control your gut and really lean into your gut as well as to heal it. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys all next week.